Irontrader, and we're going to take a look at some seasonality charts like crude oil and natural gas and gold and silver, and look at some of the indexes, just to give you a good gist on exactly what happens this time of the year. Okay, this video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation to buy, selling stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have crude oil. Okay, so now we look at this time of the year. We have this September situation going on. So usually September, we have this kind of a sideways action because we have this hurricane season that completely plays out here from, August all the way here to October. But then after October, you actually notice that we have a good sell situation. Now, this chart is over a 20-year period. If you want to look these up, just go to equityclock.com and all sitting there right there on anything seasonality that you want to look at. Okay, so what we have is we have a nice good shorting situation once we get to that October all the way to the 1st of December. Then in December, you want to take this long to go into the 1st of the year. Then we have like a sideways action. And then in February is I usually go long because going into that Memorial 4th of July holiday. And then we have that nice sell-off. Now, again, remember, OPEC is going to be meeting here this weekend. If they start flooding this market here with even more crude, right now the EIA says got a pretty good glut going on here. And if they can get things settle out in Ukraine and Russia starts pumping, I think oil definitely is going to be, by the end of the year, is going to be down in the 50 area. But this is a good time here that we just trade this sideways. Hurricane season hasn't been really that bad as of right now, because what it needs to do is the hurricane has to come into the Gulf. You have to shut down the platforms, and that's the first thing. You have to shut down the ports. And that will affect crude oil, natural gas, and gasoline. But right now, we just don't have that. The hurricanes have been hit. They've been going up the coast, and it hasn't really caused anything on as far as the oil market situation. Okay, but again, when you look at this chart, it's very interesting because what it is just you have this almost like a sideways time unless something would come up. Now again, anything can happen with oil. If you get a war started, you get this or that or any kind of disruption, then yes, oil can go higher. But basically over a 20-year period, we come to the same trade. And I've been trading this for over 2.5 decades. And once you get to this area here, this is a good shorting opportunity here to go all the way down. Now, right now, currently, I'm short with the SEO. I just don't see where crude oil is going to be going up. You're going to need a catalyst to take it higher. All right, let's take a look here now at natural gas. Here we have natural gas seasonality. Now you can see here in August, well, basically it's just a sideways action, but then again, it starts going up. Now we get a little bit of pullback, but I'm looking for a good buying opportunity. Now, I always look at a couple things here. I always look at that Farmer's Almanac. I know that's old school, but I always look at weather patterns and see what's going to be coming in. Now, they're predicting a pretty cold and snowy winter, pretty much like we had last time, and that's really good if you're trading natural gas on the long side. Now, another thing I do, which sounds pretty crazy, but I got this from an old farmer guy, and he looks at the squirrels. Now, the squirrels, I've been doing this for a long time, and I know it sounds crazy, but the more nuts they gather up, they're already onto something and know what kind of winter is kind of coming up there. However, a thing you use, I use like 3 or 4 different things like that. And I do look at the squirrels just to see, what kind of winter we're going to have. But if we have a cold winter, we could take this, really rally this up nicely all the way into November. Now, always remember, you're going to have pullbacks. Nothing goes straight on up. But again, if we look at here on this chart, once you get in September area, you have this series of higher low situation. But just remember, in November, you want to take that off because now you start going into the futures. You'll be in January, February, March kind of situation, and you want to take that right on off trade. So we have a good long trade opportunity here. Then we have a nice, good shorting opportunity coming in. So for natural gas, I trade the UNG for the long, KLD for the short. It's really easy trading. They do big volume. You can get in and out of it, out of the trade, and you can do these multiple times kind of a situation. Okay, so very, very good. So this is where we are here coming into the September timeframe. And once we get that bottom, we have a good chance of having a nice, good run up all the way into November kind of a situation. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold. Here we have gold. Now, gold has been really running, had a really nice, good run. Now, I'm not a huge gold trader or silver trader. That's really a specialty trader that does that. They just focus right on gold or just right on silver or something like that. Where me, I like to trade the crude oil and natural gas, the gasoline, technology with all the AI trade and Bitcoin. Really, really good trading. Like I trade the BITX and the IBIT. And that's what I usually like to trade what I'm saying? But I do jump into gold when I can see it running. I jump into GLD and the silver, the SLD. Okay, and that seems to work out very, very nice. So now here we are in the September month. You can see here where you get a good rally going on here. Then we're going to get a pullback kind of situation. So when you do get a pullback, again, there are circumstances here. So when you have the tariff situation, I always use gold like as almost like a fear factor kind of thing. I remember when the T-Man was running the first time on the election, I was watching gold. And gold was ripping up higher. And all of a sudden, he wins the election. So it's kind of like a fear factor kind of a situation as I kind of look at it now. Again, you got the tariff situation going on. You got maybe rate cutting situation. Why are you cutting rates? You have to ask yourself that. But again, if the economy and everything was so great, you wouldn't be cutting rates. You'd be, adding on to rates. Okay. But anyway, we'll talk here about gold. So now you can see here where you get this pullback. So any kind of a pullback, and you can see this beautiful run into December kind of a situation. See low, higher, low, all the way on up here. But gold looks like it's going to go higher. And I really think gold is going to hit that 37 area. It might even crack all the way up to that 4,000 level there very, very easily. Okay. So we got to see how that all going to shake out. But right now, this is the period that you're in. So even when you get into that January kind of situation, you can see how a nice good run, then it kind of a consolidate situation, and then it has a nice good run all the way up here. So I've been trading gold daily and silver daily with the GLD and then the SLV. Been working out very, very nice. All right, let's take a look here at silver. Here we have the silver futures. Okay, now you can see here how silver had a really, really good run. But look at October, it's the same thing as the gold. It has a nice, good pullback. Okay, so now in September here we can still run, but just make sure that you don't want to get caught at the top. Okay, you always want to buy it when it pulls back down. Now, silver has a very good run, gold had a very good run, but now you're kind of like getting to that overbought condition. Not saying it can't go higher, but again, always, risk to reward kind of a situation because you can always buy it back up again. Okay. So when it comes out to October, you can see the nice run it has all the way to that December time frame. Okay. And that's always very, very good. Then it comes right on back. But look at what happens back in January again. You have that nice, good run up situation. Okay. So always just kind of look at these charts here over a period of time. And maybe, as I say, any kind of edge I'll give you, as I say, an edge in trading is what it gives you. If you can look at multiple charts. Now, again, for trading, I use a tick chart, a 1, 5, and a 15 minute. If I want to slow the trade down, I can use like a 30, 1 hour, and a 4-hour chart. But always look at the daily, the weekly, and the monthly chart. It gives you a bigger view no matter what you are trading. Okay. Here we have the NASDAQ. Now, this is one of my favorite trades here because all the good stuff is right in there. Now, again, the NASDAQ came off a little bit today, but really nothing major. Now, easy way I trade the NASDAQ is with ETF TQQQ, and also pays a small dividend, but it's really a nice, good basket. It has NVIDIA, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Apple, Netflix, Google, Palantir, Tesla, Costco. It's got so much good stuff in that TQQ. You got to figure TQQ this year got all the way down to 35 flat. And right now, and it got as high as 96. Okay, so you got to look at it. You could have tripled your money just with that one ETF. Now, yeah, did Amazon run up? Yeah, it went from 161, okay, to 242. Yeah, but did it triple? You know what I'm saying? At a very, very good rate and a good price. So check into TQQQ, and that might be a good trade for you. But anyway, I like the NASDAQ. I think this AI is just getting started. And I just think over the long run, it's going to do nothing but get better and better and better. I know I paid my insurance bill there the other day, and I'm talking to this person on the phone, and to ask me questions, how I'm doing, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, man, is this somebody that's really real? It's getting so very hard to tell. But I actually, by the time they hung up, I was thinking, no, this isn't even a real person. Okay, but eventually, that's what you're starting off with. This is going to get better and better over time situation. So now we look at the NASDAQ. Here we are in September. But again, always watch this time frame from August here to October, because a lot of times you can do the old peak ski and then she comes right on down here. But again, we're looking for buying opportunities in the NASDAQ. Now, me, I trade this every day. The stocks I trade every day is stocks like Tesla, or if Meta's running, you know what I'm saying? NVIDIA is always a very good trade. Now, remember, Tesla, you can do a two-way trade on that. TSLA for the long, TSLS for the short. Same thing with NVIDIA. They make a short run on that too. So there's a lot of good trades that you can, that I do here besides the TQQs, okay, for trading and daily cash flow. So now we're sitting in the September month. Just watch this October, because when she sells down it sells down. But this is, I don't look at this as a selling down. I look at this as an opportunity to go into the end of the year. So we look at that October frame. This is what I'm looking to buy a lot of more of those tech stocks. You know what I'm saying? I trade them daily. I own a lot of them for a long term, but I'm always looking for opportunity kind of a situation. Look at that nice run that you can have in at the end of the year. Now, all the tech big boys were at Trump's at the White House there, and they all had the big meeting. And I watched it on CNBC, and I was very interested. That table that they were sitting at that thing had to be like 50 feet long. And they're all sitting there, but all the big boys, you know what I'm saying, on getting stuff and making stuff here. And I agree with it. I don't understand why you just don't make stuff here and then ship it out to other countries. Why are we buying other countries and shipping it back here? You know, especially with this AI, you can still build stuff really, really on a reasonable side kind of a situation. So anyway, when you're looking at this, let's just wait. You know, this is, to me, this area right here is just trading, and this is just opportunity. This area, when we come down to this level here, this is a buy and hold into that end of the year. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll be buy and hold. I'll be trading the same stocks over and over every day, but this is a good area where I'll take it, I'll buy and hold and run that bad boy right on up. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. And then we get to January, we have a sideways action. Then we have a nice little pop up here. But then in that March, you want to have that. Looking to see how she marches over. Now, again, these charts are a 20-year period. You know what I'm saying? So they offer a lot. Okay, kind of a situation for you. Okay. Here we have the Dow. Now, it's pretty much the same thing, okay? September, boom, we rally up very nice and hard. Oh, wow, everybody gets all excited. But then I always look for this opportunity, okay? Because all you got to do is just track down, get on the internet, look and say, hey, when was really the time that, it was sold? So you just got to look all the way back to 1987 when everything just came right on off. But it was this time of the year that's where it comes right on off situation, okay? So a lot of times what they'll come right on up, and then it sucks at all those retail traders. Oh, FOMO, I'm going to miss out. I'm going to miss out. No, no, no. You got to look at these seasonality charts. You're not missing out on nothing because you can buy it lower. And the thing about it is you never want to buy it on the first pullback, okay? That's really not good. That's not what you want. What you want to do is wait until it retests it. See how this retests? Okay, and you get that higher low. That's the time you want to get in and then just take that bad boy long into the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you're really looking for. And then usually the first week or so of the year, it always just like goes sideways. And then you guys got to back off of this kind of a situation. Okay, so a lot of times this here will, it'll run up and give you a really good opportunity here. But again, be patient. This area here is a trading situation. When we get above this here, then that's going to be a nice buy and hold and take that bad boy higher. All right, that's what I got for you on the seasonality. But again, you can go to equityclock.com and anything that you want to look at, okay, as far as seasonality, no matter what you trade, if it's gold, if silver, if platinum, if it's aluminum or, hogs or whatever like that you want to trade, everything is down there, and that's over a 20-year period. It gives you a pretty good look. Now, again, everything doesn't work out exactly, but again, it gives you a good idea of what exactly is what kind of a situation over a period of time. Okay, so check out my site there. It's Irontrader.Wallstreet, and I do 3 videos every day. Okay, and then what we always do is we do Bitcoin and gold and silver and crude oil and natural gas. And then we always look at the indexes at the end of the day. And then we throw Ethereum in there now, the nice ETF, ETHU. That really works out good here if you're trading that Ethereum. But like as far as the Bitcoin goes, yeah, the BITX, that works out. That's a really, really good trader. I traded that. It hit a 52.50 on the bottom today, 55.58 on the top there. Really good trading. Plus the BTIX, remember, it pays a dividend, about 11% a year, but it pays it monthly. And they're averaging now 62 cents a share every month. Okay, so you can get yourself a really nice, good dividend. Okay, so 2,500 shares will give you, $1,500 a month. You got 5,000 shares, give you $3,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? Just like that. So that works out very nice. Now, IBIT, a lot of the billionaires now are starting to buy the IBIT, and that's from BlackRock. They have 52 billion in assets. That might be something that you want to trade if you want to say, I'm going to buy and I'm going to hold. I think Bitcoin's going to 250, and I think it's going to go a lot, much higher. Okay, so check out my site. I say it's totally free. I do 3 videos a day. You know what I'm saying? And everything will work out really good. And remember, always just trade the charts, and that's what that trading chart does. It takes all that, all that noise out of the trade. That's the key, is taking that noise out of the trade. Oh, this guy's saying this, or this is saying that. And then you trade the charts, you know exactly where you're going from level to level. Okay. And that's the key, is consistent money. You want to make money starting on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. By the time you get to Friday, you say, holy shit, I got myself a big pile of cash. And the next week you do it all over again. The key is just trade the chart. If you don't need to buy the bottom, you don't need to sell the top. You just want that middle, that meat in the middle. That is what you really want to do. And that adds up. Consistent money is the key to trading. Okay. Last thing I want to say is trade what's in front of you, not what you want.